might be able to bring it to them.
Okay, that's fine.
If not, I mean, well, I'm just wondering if like what would be the more natural thing to do.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna draft up a master thread in Notepad and then just put it in the channel.
Right, you might, yeah, I might as well like, stick to the original plan.
And then I'll just like put this video there as a link in case we go into detail on anything that we don't have as much detail on the master thread. That should be
Right.
fine. Okay. So I mean, obviously, I'm just gonna have. Actually, how do I start this? I'll just say, this is a master thread of changes that could be dual mode as suggested by Scott Ruby. What else should I say? I mean, I guess my main philosophy with a lot of these, or like the way that I think about a lot of things, is that I want it to be as close to the base game as possible while still being kind of more, competitive, I guess.
Right.
So, does that sound fair to you guys?
Yeah, it's fine.
Right, I'll put it down. Some of these changes are more drastic than others, but our main goal is to keep things as close to the base game as possible. So we alienate the casual audience less when they try. Alright. That sound good?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
the quality high enough?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
Sick. Alright.
Yeah, it's legible, so it's fine.
I'll zoom in a little bit. Here we go. So I'll start with pickups. So I mean, obviously the main thing is armor, right? That's like one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Armor pickups. Do we think there should be armor pickups in normal deathmatch levels?
No.
No, it's
Like just
I don't think
casually.
so, no.
yes, you need. Oh wait, I'll let you go on.
I mean, my opinion is that I think if we are trying to keep things as close as possible, and like as close as possible to the game casually, and we're trying to include armor in dual mode, then I think obviously that would be not the easiest, but I guess the simplest way to keep things like as close as possible. But
Right. But what you have to understand is that this is separate from the deathmatch mode. So there needs to be a clear difference between both of them.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, we want to minimize that difference as much as possible, right? So that we don't keep
Alright.
newer players out, or at least that's my thinking behind it. I don't
I
want
mean,
to.
we'll keep familiar things in, like, the health pills.
Yeah. I just obviously because armor is such a major thing, I want to say there should be armor pickups on deathmatch maps just to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, but I know a lot of people like Open Fortress just because it kind of lacks that complexity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was basically the plan. Also, I know I was just throwing this at you right now, so obviously you hadn't
yeah.
thought of this before.
Yeah.
But what would you do for like the dual shield power up? Like, what changes would you make? Because I feel like that's sort of like
I think
meant to
power
be
ups
the
do not
stand-in.
belong in duel. I think the dual shield is just a bad idea from the get go.
Alright, that clears things up.
I think well, my issue with the dual shield is that there is no like with Mega you have like pills and health pickups, right? Dual shield
Right.
doesn't have an equivalent. So if one person has it, they have something that is impossible to get for the other person. So it makes it a lot more rolly. We
Yeah.
ages ago phased the dual shield out of custom dual maps just because it was so powerful. It was just so strong.
All right.
So,
Yeah, you should probably. I think you're about to add that anyway. At least those remarks.
yeah. So I'll say, what should I say for now? So I guess the main issue that we're trying to address with the adoption of armor power-ups is not only the dual shield is OP, but also that dual is kind of lacking that complexity and strategy that comes with armor pickups. You think that's fair to say?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll say currently competitive fortress and dual in particular lack of complexity and strategy that can be found in other FPSs. Actually, I'll write arena shooters. To anybody who is familiar with other arena shooters, this is quite clearly due to the lack of armor pickups within open fortresses deathmatch modes, I'll say. And then I'll add as another bullet point. What should I say? I mean, just that it's overpowered, I guess.
Well, dual. Well, I like to think of dual shield as the sort of protection spawn from Quick Champions.
Yeah, it is kind of just on that scale.
Yeah.
I don't know, Blamo, if the team knows this, but the dual shield, you know how it like counts 180 damage like done to it and then like despawns, or 150 or whatever.
I don't want to like. No, absolutely. Like I think. Well, I think we started.
Yeah.
I cannot speak. Sorry.
No worries.
It's I think we're starting to come to agreement that, internally anyway. I'm
Yeah.
not, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to speak for anyone, but
Oh yeah.
we're coming to the agreement that Duel might have been shipped out a bit early,
Yeah.
or rather, like some kicks need to be worked out,
Yeah.
or at least now that we're being more susceptible to these sorts of feedback.
Yeah. I mean,
feel
what
like
I was. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, I wasn't about to say anything more. At least it would have been redundant.
Right. What I was gonna say about dual shield is that when it counts 150 damage, it counts that after it applies the damage resistance, so it takes even longer than it seems, which is kind of crazy. So even on that level, it's a bit busted. So I'll say dual shield though. A step towards this complexity provides too great of an advantage. Hello, Apollyon.
Hello.
Hello again.
Player without it
Okay, so what did I miss?
cannot.
We just started the.
Basically, we prefaced it by saying the main goal of these changes should be to keep dual mode and like the
Right.
other competitive modes as close
Right.
to the base game as possible while still having it be viable.
Still letting it be viable.
So, you know what I mean?
Alright. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay, sick.
Thinking about it.
So we just started with armor pickups. Basically,
Obviously,
all we've said so far
The number
is,
one.
Yeah, the number one most requested feature.
Right, no, I do feel that armor is definitely needed.
Yeah. So basically, what we said is because there's no armor in Open Fortress as it is.
Right.
Dual is missing a lot of that complexity that armor has,
Right.
and dual shield is overpowered.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I mean, most of the times, since pills are so like easy just to, it's easy to just retreat from a duel.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to retreat from fighting from somebody and going and just like picking up a bunch of fucking pills and then like having 300 health again, and it's not
Yeah.
really I guess, interesting if people were watching that. Like, armor pickups make sense in duels because obviously, like, it creates more pressure to like being able to maintain like health advantage and like armor advantage. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's really important. I would say to have that in OF. I think OF like at least duel needs it. Like you can keep pills and deathmatch. Pills and deathmatch make sense.
I think
Not so much in duel.
I think pills are fine in duel because it's like that's just a thing that is
Right,
in
it's
the
a
arena
thing.
genre.
Everyone
But,
knows
I mean,
how to play with
obviously,
pills.
just not like the prevalence that it has on a map like fucking Warhead.
Right.
Because
Right, like
Yeah,
Warhead is a nightmare.
Warhead, or
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just. Oh, sorry.
No,
go
but
Yeah, it's like pills are fine in duel, like in like how mega healths, 2 mega healths are fine in duel. It's just you have to be. It's just like the mapper, just like sniper in TF2, I guess. You have to take very careful consideration.
yeah, it's
Like
just
because otherwise you don't want to, make fights overly spongy. At least not without effort anyway.
Exactly.
Because that's what. Yeah, that's what Apollyon and I felt when we last played Imperial. Actually.
Right. Yep. Well, they'll just go back. They'll just go retreat, and they'll just go get health again, and they get overheal, which is technically their armor. So it's like you don't really have to engage unless you're just ready to engage most of the time.
Yeah.
You literally can just run circles around your fucking opponent and just go and fill up, and then just go and fight.
Yeah.
And if you don't win, you can. And if you are able to retreat successfully without, obviously, if someone fucking pursues you and knows you're low and is just going to finish you off, then it makes sense that way. But like most of the time, you can just get away. Most of the time, you're if you know how to move, you're gonna get out of the way. You're gonna get out of the engagement, and you're gonna go refill. It creates a lot more downtime. I feel that you don't really tend to get as many there's not much action going on from the majority of the duel until you start fighting, and then I feel around the end is when people get a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
Like close to the end when the timer starts getting low, people start playing a lot more aggressive. At least I do.
Yeah. I definitely I get what you mean.
Just to secure my lead, but at the same time, I do feel that armor is definitely needed in fucking it should be a no-brainer. I agree with it. It needs to be a thing.
Yeah,
Armor
I
pickups
think
in duel
obviously
need to be a
that's
thing.
the most common consensus take with duel is that we need armor.
Right. You just need armor.
So I guess
to act as like the pills, or it acts as just your armor. It acts.
Yeah.
Of course, it'd be a separate meter, obviously, and it's
Yeah.
it's going to operate like how armor does.
in other arena shooters.
Yes. It reduces your damage taken.
So one thing I was thinking about armor is what kind of armor system we want. Because Open Fortress's base health is 150 and not 100, if we were to just take Quake armor, where it's like 200 max, 66% resistance,
Right.
it wouldn't translate as well, I think, because it would kind of it would be more powerful. Because I mean, I believe the maximum effective health in Quake is like 400 or something. It's like 400 or 600. I don't quite remember. But yeah, armor resists 66% of damage in Quake, or in Quake Live anyway. So one thing I thought was, what if armor offered 50% resistance, but the max armor you could have was 300, just so that it was equal to Mark's health.
Right.
Is that?
Oh, sorry.
Do you guys think that would be a good idea, or do you have like other suggestions?
That might be good. I was thinking that, okay, this is what I wanted to get at. In Open Fortress, like, I feel like what's the main appeal, or at least, what has led to its creation is like that recoverability, or at least that sort of ease of access to such.
Yeah.
Because that leads to, like, closer games, which obviously there are benefits to both the Quake and Open Fortress system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I mean, I do agree that it is too easy to access, which has led to these, like these overly passive fights.
Yeah,
like
very
Apollyon
overly
commented.
passive fights.
Yeah, where you
yes.
hit like a lot of damage and still nothing happens.
So I
And
feel like
and you still like don't win the fight.
what separates Open Fortress as a game is like what is it? it's like a streamlined health system in that way, and I feel like that could also be applied to any armor. I feel like if we're gonna have armor at all, in duel anyway, it's probably just gonna be like one tier, you know?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
just one-
Maybe
That's
two.
what I was thinking, like the Quake Life
I think
system, where it's
at
all
least
one
two
tier.
or one. Yeah, one tier.
So just
Maybe two, but-
so just have like the 3 armor types, like green, green, yellow, and red, or whatever the equivalent would be in Open Fortress, but then just have
Right,
them
green,
all
yellow.
offer the same percentage of resistance. So
Right.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Might I add, because I feel like I feel like this might be something that comes up. And I'm thinking about retro mode now. I just hopped on TF2 Classic right now.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of on there idly. Like I haven't found anything out. I'd probably be better off looking it up. Hang on.
Oh yeah, because TF2 Classic. Oh, TF2 Classic? No, was it? Which one is it that has armor? Is it Pre-Fortress?
Pre-Fortress, yeah.
Pre-Fortress.
I don't play
Okay,
other sources.
So it doesn't have armor in like the traditional sense where you pick up like red, yellow. It's already applied to your
It's just
character
applied to
class.
your. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I see. How do you like? All right then. In that case, I suppose I'd be less worried. I don't know much about Team Fortress Classic, but I wondered whether there'd be like, you know, I was wondering whether the what is it, the devs.
Yeah.
I just kind of wondered if they'd want a level of consistency between those two game modes. I'm not sure.
Or
I know
between
Armor's already
deathmatch
applied.
and
between duels and like say the armor system in retro mode, but I don't know. I don't exactly know how it works.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like in that department, I know that the game mode leads have obviously they have a different vision
Yeah.
and
Right.
have more of an idea for what is actually going to go down. But I feel like regarding retro mode and deathmatch, let's say, like it's pretty much fair game. Like they're meant to be different experiences.
I
So
see.
a game within a game.
Right.
So go wild, I guess.
I mean, it should be quite a similar system anyway, because it's like Merc has, whatever inherent percentage of resistance he has, and then armor doesn't like change that. It just like offers a specific like number, I guess.
Yes, that is going to give way.
Yeah.
So that should be fine anyway. That should be consistent.
I just kind of think retro mode would also be. I know it's a completely different thing, but like I also feel like it would at least offer players who haven't played with armor before. I feel like.
Right. I
feel
feel
like-
that maybe I kind of get where you're coming at. I feel that maybe like a way for casual players to like be introduced to armor and like learn
Yeah.
how it works. I think that would be a really good option, so that when they hop into duels, they can at least kind of get an idea of how the armor system's going to play out and like what they should do. Obviously,
Yeah.
they should obviously be controlling armor.
Yeah.
I feel that finding a way to casually introduce armor will definitely help with duels, because I don't want. I totally get of it being too much of a disconnect and people getting not interested in it because it's just
It's a
they
lot
can't either
sweatier.
understand it. It's a lot sweatier, obviously,
Yeah.
but I feel that if they have some sort of casual entryway into it, I feel like that would be best.
Yeah,
Because I definitely feel that OF does deathmatch right, and I 100% love the deathmatch in OF, and I feel that if they could just find some way
To bridge that
to
gap.
help bridge the gap. As TF2 has had to fucking try to struggle with its gap between casual and
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
right. It's always going to be a struggle, but like I'm very certain that the devs, at least the OF devs, are going to, they're passionate enough, they'll get it done, and I hope that they'll find some way to introduce more complex things like that to the casual crowd, so that they can at least have an entry point. So
Yeah.
it's not just too convoluted. It's not just too overwhelming
Yeah.
right off the bat, because getting into like TF2 comp is super fuck. It's like it's a lot.
Yeah.
You
It's
have to
so
go through
yeah.
all
Yes,
kinds of
that
hoops, right?
Um,
Make it as
I mean-
streamlined as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it already helps that that deathmatch as a whole is meant to be like a entryway to arena shooters,
Yeah.
Right.
which you all know that. So, but obviously that's
Yeah.
sort of gonna give way to
Yeah.
that sort of philosophy. With that in mind, that sort of sweatiness, I feel like that mainly comes down to readability. Well, at least part of it. I like
Yeah.
what Diabolical did
think-
in that sense with its armor. Like, if you break it, it makes an audible sound and
Oh, yeah.
particle
Right.
effect.
Yeah.
I feel that there should be an audible sound when it breaks, so that
Yeah,
players
was there-
know when they don't have their armor on.
Is it like where you know how like being overhealed has a particle effect? Would having like overstack with armor do the same thing?
I think that might be visually noisy or confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit too
Fair
confusing because then you'd have to discern if it's if they're just buffed like shield
Yeah,
wise
yeah.
or are they buffed health wise.
Yeah,
Maybe-
that like
Maybe just like a sound limit would be good, I guess.
yes, like when you do a certain amount of damage threshold, like it progress like a sort of sound effect progresses, like because I mean not for like every amount of damage you do, because I still would like there to be some sort of skill in deciphering, if
Some
someone
sort of
has
different-
armor.
Some sort of different hit sound that imply that,
I
that
think-
will,
I
be
think
audible that
if
they have
you
armor.
have it, I think if you have it where if it goes below, if it goes like let's say max armor is 300, like with armor overstack, like if it goes below 150, it makes a specific sound, and then if it goes down to 0, it makes a different specific sound, and just
Yeah.
have it at those 2 points. I think that would be good.
Yes, having it more sound instead of having to focus on the visuals, I think sound would definitely help discern who has
Yeah.
armor and who doesn't
Yeah, yeah.
have armor.
And it makes gunplay feel meatier, so that's an added
Yes.
plus.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely add like a hit sound, like a sort of a different, I guess, impact sound. Like that's audible enough to hear how much damage are they really taking, like how hurt are they getting, like if they have armor on, it makes like a sort of like a more of a dented sound. I don't know, something that just audibly tells you that they have armor on. Because I know that cosmetics are in the game, and having an armor overlaying your cosmetics and clipping through it probably wouldn't look very good. So instead of having to maybe do like a particle effect, adding more visual noise to it, just focus on audio. Make that sort of like an audio cue, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's
Focus
a
on the
great idea.
audio.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a bit sidetracked. What was I asking? Right, armor system. What do you guys think? 200 max armor, 66%, or 150, 50%, or what do you guys think?
150 might be a safer call, but
Like,
yeah.
well, I mean, 150 like minimum stack, and then past that, it decays like it does in Quake.
Maybe like a decaying system would be good, so that they're
Yeah,
not
I was just thinking like 300 max, but over 150 it decays. So.
Right. I think that should be a thing. Like a you can go over, but it will decay over time.
I
Okay.
think that makes sense.
Are we in
That makes
agreement on
makes
that one?
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
fine.
makes sense. Having it decay would make so much sense. You can go over, but you can't go over by like the threshold's like at 150. If you go any higher than that, like 200 or something, it will start decaying.
sorry to sidetrack a bit, but
Alright.
can you hear this?
Hear what?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. My chair creaks usually.
okay.
Oh, I heard like for like a second, but it wasn't very loud.
Okay.
I didn't hear it at all.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay, so are we doing like heavy, medium, and light, or are we just doing heavy and light?
I think heavy, medium, and light is a bit better.
Yeah, I think so
It
too.
would be, yeah, because you don't
It
want to make
gives
it
you
too
a reason to
simplistic
actually
and-
go to places
right.
around the map
It makes you actually explore the know the entire map layout.
and contest areas and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So yeah.
It makes I mean, as it does for like power ups, like whenever you contest your power ups, obviously, like it would be the same way with armor. People will just start contesting towards that as well because it's very very valuable.
Yeah. So with that being
Anything valuable, really. Like I'll camp valuable shit all the time if I know someone's gonna be coming near it.
armor, where does this leave mega health?
I think
We-
mega
I
health
think,
is fine as is. I don't think
Mega,
it
yeah,
changes.
I think mega health is fine. I think it should be Mega
So
health.
even with all the armor, we still include like 1 mega health.
Yes.
Because your overheal,
Yeah.
because your
Okay, cool.
overheal does decay, right? Like it does decay. Like the
Yeah.
mega health will decay, so it's only natural. It's fine. Having the armor do the same thing as mega health, it honestly it all makes sense. That literally would work, 100%. I would be happy with that. Right.
Yeah,
It
that's
decays
fine.
at the same rate overheal does, right? Yeah, and armor should take a while to spawn, obviously, as it would. Also, have they ever talked about adding some kind of system that helps with timing better, like how it does in Click Live?
I was gonna
Like,
suggest.
I seriously would love a timer like on the side of my screen so that I know when
I
shit's
think-
about to spawn, so I can start making my way over to places.
I
right?
think we should just get to that when we get to that. For now, I just need to type this
Okay.
out. So
Okay, yeah,
Um,
that's fine. It's just an idea. That's something I've been thinking about a lot. Because man, fucking instead of having to just have the numbers in my head, It'd be great to have an actual screen that tells me, or a little thing on the HUD that shows they're about to spawn.
I mean, it would definitely help new players, so I'm fine
Yes,
with it.
it would. It would give them time, to learn, and it just gives them a good way to, be able to also, because I notice a lot of players don't even a lot of new players don't even realize power ups are there. Like they tend to just kind of blindly avoid them. It's weird. Either it's a choice that they avoid it, or most of the time I feel like they don't even see it and they don't even bother. Unless someone else starts using it and picks it up and starts, going to town with it. And yes, obviously they're gonna be like, oh shit, I want that. And, they'll learn that way, but a lot of the times they just don't go for power ups. A lot of times I find myself just controlling power up 100% of the time.
Yes.
It's sad. It's like people are like, man, like why are you demolishing us? I'm like, well, I have insanely good control. you gotta learn how to control a map. You have to learn how to control maps. It's the whole thing about playing arena.
I mean, to be fair, like in their defense, I think the only other mainstream game that does this nowadays is like Halo with its, the
Right.
whole idea
and
is kind
even
of
Halo
control.
is like completely
Yes,
different in
map
the way it's
control.
applied. So,
More focusing on a player's individual, map control skill.
all right, and then I think just at the end, just say like what this would accomplish in effect, I guess.
Right. Sorry for your car passing by. I live next to a highway. It's fucking horrible.
Runaway car.
They fucking go speeding down this fucking road all the goddamn time.
Complexity jewel that makes it more fun and interesting, as well as appealing to.
It adds a new layer. It adds a new layer of skill needed to be mastered and learned. I feel adding more. I feel that just adding that layer it just makes sense. It would make sense in a way.
Out of control without ruining the concept of hitting damage for long-term plays. Or I'll say hitting damage without getting frags for long-term plays. Does that sound good?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
sounds
don't want to make the time to kill too high.
Yeah.
You don't want to make it too drawn out.
Okay. So that's armor. I was thinking of bringing up ammo, because obviously with most arena shooters, ammo is like different types for each weapon, but I don't know how I feel about bringing that up. I don't know if it's worth, talking about it.
Nah, I don't think it's worth doing.
No, I really don't think. I think the universal ammo it helps a lot more than having just individual ammo
absolutely.
types.
I think
Because that's just a whole another layer of having to learn a map, learning where specific weapon or weapon ammo types are spawning. That's gonna be a little too much for me, at least.
Even then, sorry.
I guess for me as a mapper, a lot of it is to do with the way that different weapons are viable in different positions.
Right.
So it kind of, you can use those in a way to make specific spots more interesting, and it kind of helps to balance out things a lot, because it means that you can't cap specific places with certain weapons. So,
I mean, I don't know. I've never really looked that deep into that before.
Additionally, I think, in line with it being a TF2 mod, you have to reload your weapons in this game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
so they would automatically assume that I just go pick up ammo and I have ammo, because that's how it works in TF. Don't make it too detached and make it just strictly Quake.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I remember asking about separate ammo types, not even to the extent of Quake, but more
Right.
like just explosive bullets, etc.
Yes, that. I remember asking about that, but apparently that was too hard to code in this sort of version of Source. I mean, this was a while ago, but
Yeah.
That pretty much just
spaghetti.
shows the
Spaghetti
deal.
is spaghetti. So.
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure it's that'd be fucking a lot of time to have to program that. Even I'm sure as now, it would probably be a lot to program and get done and test and get working properly.
Oh shit! I need to have the armor amounts.
is recording, right?
Yeah. It's still recording.
Okay, hello YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
So I was thinking of just dividing up the amounts of armor that armor gives, like Quake, where it's like 25, 50, 100, but just like for 150.
Sure.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Light armor, so that's like 35
35.
AP.
Medium.
Medium armor, so that would be 75 AP, and heavy armor 150 armor points.
I was also gonna say another point about just real quick. On like determining if a person has armor. I wouldn't make it like a full-on like overlay like having shield does, like having the shield power up kind of makes like a whole overlay over the player.
Yeah.
I mean, you could honestly do something like that, but just make it very faint enough to where people can tell when people have armor on. I guess.
I think the sound would be just fine.
And the sound. To be honest, that just it just works. So it was just an idea.
So like in quick games, you can't really like see if someone has
No,
200
you
armor
really
on.
can't. Right.
So
The thing that Quake does though is that it has different hurt noises for different amounts of health.
For different amounts of health. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I feel if OF had that would be nice. Oh.
you think?
A little bit.
like just a
Like,
haptic would be good.
That's fair
Yeah, at least like knowing, like being able to audibly tell when somebody's low.
Yeah.
BRB.
Well,
yeah.
I can, and even then, sorry, I can already kind of tell people are low whenever I hear the mercenary, like whenever mercenary gets about like low, like under like about like half of his health.
Yeah.
He spouts out a line like "son of a bitch" or some shit like that or whatever.
Yeah.
Or well, I think it was whenever he starts getting shot at, but I know there's already audio cues to tell when people are low. Like I use it all the time. That's how I can tell when people are low. That's why I pursue people the way I do when I know that they're fucking hurt.
Yeah.
If I hear a mercenary say something, right? But having the Quake hit sounds where it's like for every level of like damage, like, like how low or how high they are, HP wise, armor wise, specific, who knows? But like something like that in OF I think would work.
Yeah.
I think that would be really nice. It would, and again, it would make gameplay feel a lot more like beefier.
So
I
it
guess.
could be like metal or like glass shattering or something.
in some fashion of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, since I said I've been meaning to point. It's I mean, since we're on the topic of audio and voice lines, I've been meaning to bring up that Merc shouldn't be saying voice lines upon spawning. I know that's a bit unrelated.
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Yeah, he shouldn't, because that kind of gives away.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
That really gives away with people's positions. That's how I spawn camp people sometimes when they in DM, because I just hear their mercenary yell out like across the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
I think.
Yep.
Do we have anything else we want to say on pickups then? Is it just the armor stuff?
I really think armor is that's specific. What we should really tackle. That's.
What about like armor pills?
Armor pills?
Yeah.
I mean, Quake has armor shots. I don't think it's necessary, but it's
to regen your armor. No, I don't think it'd be necessary, but like it's interesting.
Quake,
but you'd be making it too much. Yeah.
Quake Champions ditches it, other than when you kill people, and it works just fine. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe when you kill somebody, maybe, but like I wouldn't really.
Think so.
I don't really think it'd be viable in OF. I don't really think it would be needed, because the amount of like damage you do in OF anyways is insane. So it'd be fine.
Yeah.
The amount of like the time to kill somebody in OF is extremely short.
Yeah.
Like it's just constant dopamine hits for me.
All right, good that we cleaned up.
Okay, so that's everything on pickups then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
Oh shit.
So I guess we can go on. I don't know whether to do movement or sound next, because I think there's some points to be made about movement. There's some stuff that I specifically have been thinking of.
I think we should really tackle movement, because that's a very heavy topic. Because like a lot of our all of our servers, I'm pretty sure run
different
or would be running their config. Right? we all run different movement configs. People playing on my server have to get used to that quick.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna open Open Fortress to demonstrate this. One of the things I've been thinking about was I think the game would benefit a lot if it had. Oh, I need to stream it, and also is it showing up on? Yeah, I think Open Fortress would benefit a lot if it had circle jumping without strafe jumping. I'm pretty sure I've said this already, but I guess I'll just demonstrate it real quick. Do you guys know what I mean?
Like circle strafing without having to strafe. You're just hitting WASD.
No, that's not what I mean. It's like,
Or what
so
you mean?
you know about strafe jumping in Quake, how if you just hold it down, you gain speed.
Right.
Essentially, circle jumping is you do a flick like that, and then you just let go.
I'm gonna paint this town red.
So it's, so I guess, so if you watch my inputs, it's like that.
Right.
That doesn't give you any extra speed in the normal thing, but if I just switch to the CPM movement mode, you can see how that's kind of,
Right.
It slows you down.
it gives you a lot more initial speed off of your first jump.
Oh, never mind. That's like the opposite of what I thought.
So, I think that would be nice to have. Just because I think there are I think a big issue with dual mode in Open Fortress, in terms of movement, is that if someone turns to move away, it's really difficult to gain that speed to try and chase them down if you're not, like, already aware that they're going to do it. Like, if there's someone over there and they turn to move away, and I'm just walking, then I've basically
Right.
lost that fight.
You basically, they've already retreated.
Yeah.
I feel that getting like a quick movement boost like that would be very useful for a movement config because people can just run away. I tend to be able to run away a lot better in the movement config we use because of just how insane like the strafe speed, acceleration is.
Yeah, just having that, I think, would allow you to react a bit quicker and be a bit more
Right.
on the
Be a bit more aggressive.
And it
adds
also
more
does
aggressive.
just make the movement, I think, more dynamic and interesting. So, I think that is worth having. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I think it'll be
Yeah.
worth trying out at least.
Worth trying out 100%. Like that definitely should be discussed. Like this should be discussed.
I did.
I think, yeah, so like getting that first initial bit of speed can, really be like a deal breaker in certain fights.
Yeah, because I think adding strafe jumping, or like just like kind of, because I know it's in the game, but it's kind of scuffed at the moment. Just having strafe jumping be a mainstay of duel kind of detracts from what I think makes Open Fortress's movement more interesting,
Right.
or at least interesting when you compare it to other arena shooters. So
Right.
I think just having the circle jump without strafe jump would be quite nice.
Yeah.
Right, are we in agreement on that then? Does anyone want to say
Yeah.
anything about that?
Seems like it.
Not to have anything else to add, to be honest.
Okay.
Yep.
So I will. Oh, I need to change the screen window. Shut the fuck up, Open Fortress. I was doing the fucking alarm thing. So. Oh. Hang
Hey,
on.
whole stream just shut off.
So I was thinking just have that as OF underscore movement mode 3. I know I've already made that suggestion, but I guess I'm just putting it here for clarification that that's for competitive.
Yeah. I think that would be fair.
Okay.
Alright.
OF movement mode 3. So how do I start this? Yeah, I'll just say currently. I don't fucking care. Currently, fleeing fights, on maps like Warhead and Geotechnic, because I think those are the two that have it the worst in terms of like fleeing fights and just not being able to catch people.
Right. Right.
It's super easy to the fact that there is no method of instantaneous speed gain in Open Fortress. Let's say
and then just
let's-
sort of elaborate on that.
this. So I'll say if a player is a semi, let's say at a mid range distance from you, it is almost impossible to catch them if they turn the other way and escape unpredictably. And then I'll say, like, this slows down dual mode gameplay and makes it frustrating for people. I'll just say competitive, because I think it's more of a general thing.
Right.
Competitive gameplay makes it more frustrating for people who are playing fights well and lose because that's not the correct way to phrase it. I think it's not like
Right.
frustrating when the player has a good opportunity to win a fight but loses because they
The enemy runs off.
were
or
physically incapable
Of chasing.
of chasing.
chasing.
Well, I mean, that's not exactly the right way to put it, I think, because there's like, oh, they rocket jump to high ground, so I can't catch them, and I don't think that's as frustrating.
No,
But
no.
I know you guys know what I mean, but I think it's
Yeah.
it needs clarification in here. I guess. In what seems like an equal scenario. Does that work?
I mean, kind of, but we should
Winning.
probably...
I say winning.
leave it
Like
there.
in a winning scenario, like they're winning the fight, they're going to win the encounter, they're going to kill their opponent. So in a winning when they're in a winning, I guess engagement.
Who? Let's say who is about to win a fight but loses because they were physically incapable of chasing their opponent.
Right.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
So I'll say one solution to this that could work incredibly well would be to have a third movement mode setting that adds circle jumping. And then I'll say flick strafe jump, but not strafe jumping. Speed to gain a lot of speed at the start of a jump, but not strafe jumping. Blamo, are the team, do they know what strafe jumping is for the most part?
I don't think most of them are really that. Well, they've played Quake before, so they might be familiar with it.
There'll probably be a couple that are familiar, I would imagine.
With that movement.
And
But
anyway,
more so
I mean,
playing Quake in more so of a casual sense.
yeah,
That
I
makes
don't know. I
sense.
mean, I would imagine that they would watch the video anyway, and I mean, I can just timestamp to that demonstration, I guess.
Right.
But I just don't know how much that needs explaining. So
I mean, if they wish to discuss that with us, like, like in a voice call, like if the developers want to like actually talk with you or like any of us
Yeah.
about that, I'm sure we
I
can
guess.
explain that to them in a better way than what the document could ever really
That's
Because
true.
it's kind of really hard to put that in words.
Right then, should I just not waste the time trying to explain it?
I'd say just add just the reason if they ask more about it, elaborate, obviously. Because I'm sure that they'll want to ask questions about the whole fucking movement thing. Because it's a very sensitive thing. Because I know that they kind of want to have the movement how they kind of want it, but I'm glad that they at least want to try to make it more competitively viable. Adding different things to make it where people who want to take this game competitively can take it competitively.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just explain like
I feel that they really shouldn't alienate
This
that
would
audience. TF2
maintain
isn't enough already.
the nuke elements of gaining speed in open fortress, and then I'll say like strafing in an S and an S shape, while also making it more fair for players who fighting people that like to run away a lot. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this would make the pace of dual games much faster, as players could as players could chase easier, and players who have just spawned could get moving much faster. Right,
Yeah.
that's all good. The other thing I wanted to suggest, and I've explained this multiple times before, but so like in Source, there's the function that like pushes you upstairs if you're walking into them, even if they're not clipped, right? I would want to have that be active constantly, like it is in Quake. So, no matter where you are in the air, if you hit like something protruding out of the ground and you're like within 8 units, 9 units, whatever the value is, it would push you up. So like these aren't clipped, if you can.
Yeah.
But if I jump into them while just holding W, I don't get stopped. It's not, basically in Source, if I was jumping up these and I happened to like hit one of these steps, I would be stopped. Like I'd lose all my speed. But in most arena shooters, they have it so that even if you're in the air, it'll just force you to the top of the step and retain your speed. And that's irrespective of like the direction that you're moving in, even if you're like falling. I think that would help just to streamline the movement a lot, especially since Open Fortress is an arena shooter. I know that's different from TF2, but I don't see why that shouldn't be a thing, because it's like most players won't even notice it, and the players that do notice it will just have a lot more freedom with their movement. So.
Yeah, wasn't one of the devs talking about that the other day? How like it like work and stuff.
I did not see, but as far as I know, it wouldn't. Maybe I'm wrong because I'm not a programmer. But as far as I know, all it would take would be just making it so that the thing that pushes you up steps when you're walking, just have that just never be disabled. So.
Okay. I don't really see an objection to that. It's fine.
Yeah, because I think that would make like playing casually better as well, and it would just make the potential for map design like a lot bigger, I guess. So
yeah.
Any objections to that?
So far, no.
Apollyon?
Yeah, what's up?
How much of that did you miss?
Not much. I've been listening. I'm just talking with somebody right now real quick.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll do. How do I caption this one? I don't know. I want to say stairs code, but I don't think that's it. I'll say like player collisions with ledges in mid air. So how do I open this? I guess I'll say by default source has a function that allows players who walk into slight increases in height to be pushed up them automatically. And then I'll say in the,
Like rather than be sort of stopped in the tracks.
yeah,
Yeah.
instead of preventing their movement in the air, this function is disabled. I'll say in Open Fortress, the only way that this manifests is in how do I put this? I don't know how to put it. You guys know what I mean when I say like there's just a lot of things, because that is a thing in Sourceware that just kind of stops people's movement completely.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know what the function's like called. I don't really know a lot of.
I don't think
names.
it matters that we know what it's called as long as we can describe it, because I think the main thing is just that everybody needs to be able to understand
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Open Fortress, the only way that this manifests is through minor changes in height variation that are unclipped, occasionally stopping a player's movement entirely and often getting them killed. Does that sound fair?
I was gonna say I'm back. I'm back now. But yeah, I do agree with everything you're saying right now. Like I literally have just been agreeing with it. I really haven't had any disagreements.
Okay.
Same.
So, all right. The simplest and best solution to this problem would be to simply always have this function enabled regardless of the speed, direction, and not height, and speed and direction of the plane, as well as regardless of whether they are in midair or walking. This would allow for much more freedom in movement, map design. Yeah, I guess movement and map design, and overall be a very good change for the game, casually and competitively. Is that all good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have no complaints.
All right. So what would be there's some visual stuff that I was thinking about. Most of it is just that kind of config stuff, like like Fulbright players. Like I know there's tennis ball Mark, but it's not like bright green Keel who is Fulbright, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, unless anybody has contentions with that. So I'm just gonna do visuals. Do you guys have anything in your minds for movement, by the way?
Yeah, so like, okay, so you know how in Quake where so imagine sort of like something the size of like a sandbag, and you had like I'm trying to think of how to articulate this because I can't really think of how to describe this particular thing, but like you know how in sort of Quake where you'll have something that doesn't really look like stairs at all, but like you can like hold like W and like move forward and you can sort of like climb up it,
Right.
Right.
if you know what I mean.
Do you mean
It just sort of looks like
there's like
What?
I guess what I'm thinking of is there's a specific jump on Delirium where it's like a massive gap, but it's like there's crates and you jump and get pushed to the top of the crates and then you jump up again. Do you mean like that, or am I?
yeah, kind of like that. So like if you like move up to like an, I know this is like super niche and probably not really relevant, but like if I don't know, I just thought it would be something that might be brought up as sort of relevant to the conversation. But yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's like when you move up to say like something that doesn't necessarily look like you can like go over it. So let's say if it was like a set of railings, like you could get like a bit of boost off it or something.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean that should just come with the collisions thing, I think.
All right, sure thing.
So,
Because I would consider a what? Sorry, bird. I would consider like a railing to be a ledge.
yeah.
So yeah, obviously, yes, you would vault over it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would. Yeah, that would be a no-brainer, to be honest.
All right. Anyone else?
Now, I would say be careful with the auto because you don't want to be like make it to where like you have to like press up, like be right on the ledge, like because I would say because some people like to kind of hide behind ledges or like hide behind railings and just kind of fire at people. Obviously, you can shoot through ledges anyways, but
Yeah.
like the rails, but just. I wouldn't want to make the collision for vaulting too big to where it's not too clunky. So like
I think if it's
you don't just
I think if it's the same as stairs, it should be okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
Like just when you're walking. I don't
Yeah,
think it
pretty
needs
much.
to be that intense.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
thinking of like a really specific jump on Quake Champions. So like, if I just like quickly stream that and just show you, because I don't really know a lot of the names for specific tech. So
Yeah. Sure. Go ahead. Oh, I love how long Quake Champions takes to open.
Oh yes, takes forever.
Actually, I'll put another bit here for mechanics because there's a few things I wanted to go over.
Wait, real quick, what are your overall thoughts on blast jumping?
I
Or at
really
least
think
how it's-
last.
I like
it
the
feels
way it is.
fine.
I like the way
It takes
is.
a while. It takes a while to learn because it's a little bit different from TF, but it's not very terribly hard to learn. I learned it pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean it's a classic of arena shooters as well.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
stronger than it is in CPMA. I'll say that.
Yes, obviously, but I feel it's fine. I really don't feel blast jumping right now is too messed up. People who know how to use blast jumping will use it. It's very
Yeah,
effective.
it's not overpowered. It's just
No.
a thing that is worth knowing.
It's a good movement option. Most of the time, if I can't chase somebody when they turn around like that, if I have a rocket launcher, I just boost myself towards them. That's how I chase people, to be honest. That's how I kind of get around the whole, instead of it being movement mode 3, having like a like a tap strafe. Like I feel that just I'm pulling out your fucking rocket launcher, just put like blowing yourself towards somebody is a lot more of a better option, and it feels a lot more, like if you've played Soldier in TF, it's kind of how you would pursue somebody anyway.
I think for me, I think rocket jumping is useful in certain situations, but I think that kind of it's more so that like you're doing it to position.
right,
or, like,
that's more what you would do in an arena. You use
Yeah,
a
because
position.
the cost to health is just I think a bit much.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but I like to play aggressive like that. It works sometimes. Most of the time, but good players know how to abuse me, fucking wasting all of my health like that.
Oh, is it okay? So it's the
Yeah, so this one.
right. So do you mean like when you walk up to the to the thing and you like
You
jump
kind of like
as you hit?
clip into it a little bit, but like you go up it.
You go up.
Yeah,
vault
like what do you
over.
think of that? Like, do you think that's a bit too far, or?
No, I mean, I think that's what that would manifest as.
That would be that would manifest as
All right,
Honestly, that would be
perfect.
nice.
Oh,
Any type of ledge object, anything you can go up, you can go over. I feel like you should be able to be vaulted over,
Yeah.
or just go over. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure Mercenary can fucking pull himself up over it. Obviously, that's what it would entail. He's just getting over it.
Yeah.
I think that it would make movement a lot more interesting, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because then you could really mix up your movement with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyone else have anything to say about movement? Or are we all
Nope.
good here?
That's good.
yeah, perfect.
Blamo?
No, I should be good too.
Cool. Okay, so I guess for mechanics, one of the main thing is just hitboxes. I think hitboxes should be more like they are in Quake Champions, where they're really generous, because I think it makes it more accessible. It makes rail like less frustrating. It just, in general, I think that's better for an arena shooter, that hitboxes are a bit more square and a bit more kind of generous.
Yeah,
Right.
after playing Quake Champions for about a week or so, like I've been playing the Instagame mode. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was hitting way
It's
more.
really noticeable how fucking difficult it is to hit
Yeah.
rail in Open Fortress. So
Yeah, because of the thin hitboxes.
that, and also
But
disabled head hitboxes.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'd say definitely having boxy hitboxes would be better, so that players have more chances to fucking hit people. Because I notice a lot of times I'll micro miss shots. Like I'm just kind of like I might not have my aim perfectly on like crosshair
It's a
on
bit
somebody.
of a coin toss, because there are
Right.
certain
You don't want
things
to.
where
You don't want to make things too easy. Like you don't want to make aiming like you don't have to aim as hard.
Well, what I
Aim
was
is,
gonna
like,
say-
because I've noticed my aim has gotten so precise just playing OF because of how precise it feels to play.
what
I kind of like that.
What I was gonna say, I think shooting at people when hitboxes aren't that generous, when they're like conformed to the model like they are in TF2.
Right.
If you're shooting
Right.
at like people's legs and stuff, it's a bit of a coin toss as to whether you hit them.
Whether you hit them or not, right? And I agree with that.
And it's like you're shooting towards the center of their mass, but because there's a gap,
Yes.
there's
No, I
little
do
things
agree
like
that we should have better hitboxes because there's a lot of times I miss a shot when I should have hit it.
Yeah.
Because I see the collision bot, like I see the rail collides with the player, but nothing happens.
Yeah. All right. So I'll just caption this hitboxes, I guess, and I'll say
Please, better hitboxes, something better than what we have now.
increased hitbox. So
Like I wasn't about to start disagreeing with you on that. Like I
Yeah.
I totally agree. We need to have better hitboxes.
yeah, I just wanted to clarify. So
Right. Yeah, I get you.
Open Fortresses hitboxes are similar to TF2's in that they conform to the player model. This makes hit scan weapons like railgun, Tommy gun, and revolver somewhat of a coin toss as to whether
Collide.
bullets you whether
Shots.
you accurate shots you
Take will hit or not.
you take will land. It also makes the railgun particularly more frustrating to use because it is almost impossible to hit players who are moving at this speed cap. I'll say increasing the size of segments of the players' hitbox would largely fix this. Similar to what is done in Quake Champions, because other Quake games have like a cylinder hitbox, but Quake Champions technically has like one that is fitted to the character, but it's still quite generous.
Right.
Okay.
I totally agree. Like I really, really just want better hitboxes. I don't want TF2's shitty hitboxes. I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah.
I get so tired of it. It's so annoying. Yeah, I really, really want this game to be super consistent. It needs to be, because it already feels consistently fine enough, but there's just little things like that can kind of ruin the immersion and ruin, like, I guess, the experience for some people. Wouldn't
Yeah.
say for everybody, but
Um.
for people who are particularly taking this a little bit more seriously, it would ruin their fun a little bit. Because nothing's worse than fucking not hitting your shots because of bad hitboxes. Nothing is worse.
Program more
It's rough.
accessible to
Newer players.
newer
Yep.
players, since they would actually stand a chance trying to hit moving
Yeah,
targets.
exactly.
This would make the railgun more useful in a consistent and fair. That way, let's make the railgun and Tommy gun more useful.
More useful.
Useful in a consistent and fair way. That also means that gameplay, or I'll say the pace of matches, would speed up. That, or I'll say that would also cause the pace of matches to speed up. Right. We all good here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. 100%.
Cool. And then I'll also say, let's just say OF. Railgun. Headshot 0. I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, headshots really should be disabled. They're fucking, it's atrocious.
Another source of inconsistency for the railgun is the lack of ability to disable its headshots. No weapon should be capable of doing 150 damage in a single shot without a crit's power up. And it shouldn't rely on a mechanic that feels like a random crit. Does that sound fair?
Yes. Yes.
I'll say, yeah, random crits.
Yes, as much as I love getting the headshots myself.
So,
Like-
As much as they are glorious to hit,
it's a guilty pleasure.
it's a guilty pleasure, but you kind of have to agree it is kind of fucked up. You can just do 150 like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, in
And
free
just
for all, like
destroy, just destroy people.
in
like,
free for all,
just
it's fine. But
Yeah. And free for all, like deathmatch, it's fine because
That's
of how
'cause it's like,
fast
who
paced
cares?
that mode is.
Yeah,
Who
agreed.
cares? Right. You can catch up just as fine. People are just getting headshots.
0.
But having it be able to having it to be disabled in duel would be nice. Make it a little more consistent, and make it just a good long range option. As the railgun is, it's a good just pick people off with it. Picking people off or just laying down 80 fucking damage is always really useful. So, it doesn't really need to have headshots. I feel that just hitting a consistent 80, no matter what, is good.
I have a bit of a miscellaneous thought on this as well. It's just kind of a side thing, but what if there was
Right.
two sort of railgun models, one that doesn't have a scope, one with a scope?
Yeah, like the dual railgun, which it can't headshot, but
Maybe it's like a different color or something, or a
yeah,
multi-scope
like a
or
different
something.
model, like
Yeah.
a different model.
I know
like
that's a lot of work to do, but
Yeah, because
for a model of it, yeah. It's just a thought.
I'm sure that just removing the scope and maybe adding like some more detail to it wouldn't be terribly hard.
I think just removing the scope would be fine. I know it
Yeah,
kind of looked
or
a bit
just
silly.
or
but-
just removing it altogether. But like it would look silly because it just looks like a sniper with no fucking scope.
Although
But
the railgun in
Little
Quake
cylinder.
Champions has a scope, and it's like whatever. Like people don't. Know.
yeah, it does. People don't really they don't really expect.
It's a nice little detail, but I think if it makes it look silly, then it doesn't really matter. Just as long
Right.
as that command to like take headshots off the railgun exists.
Yes, would be nice. Would be
Yeah,
nice.
and also having a visual cue, so knowing that I can't do headshots for this.
Yeah, or I
weapon.
can't deal headshots right
Yeah.
now. Just
Um,
something.
It should be fairly easy considering for every other.
We don't want like a rocket jumper incident.
I mean, the railgun model is already distinct enough from the rest of the arsenal, so I don't think you'd get mixed up with it not having a scope. You would know you have railgun out just by the barrel of the gun.
Okay.
And even then, if you're not playing with any view models, it's even better.
This would make the railgun much more fun to use, and be shot by since all it's not random. All of the seemingly random elements of it would be gone, and it would be a predictable, consistent weapon.
Okay.
Cool. Right. What else is there? Anyone else have anything to say on hitboxes? I mean, I think that's about everything that you can say, but
Right.
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
About it.
fuck, there was something I was gonna say and I forgot. Right, okay, weapon balancing. This might be a bit contentious, but I think we have to. I think there's a few things that might be worth bringing up in terms of weapon balance. So I'll let you guys go first because I mean I have like a specific thing that I wanted to talk about, but yeah. Anyone have any thoughts?
Nope.
No, I mean,
We can just move on to weapon balance.
it's yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any thoughts on specific weapons though?
Specifically, Tommy gun. Really, like I agree with you. Tommy gun really should just be used as like a better pistol.
Yeah.
More consistent damage.
I mean,
the
because obviously
deals. Yeah, go ahead.
obviously the way it exists in Duel now, it is it's good as a finisher at long range.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
But on maps where you have the railgun and maps where it's like a lot of fights are quite close, it
Right.
doesn't see as much use.
Nope.
A lot of the time, you see it used on Warhead and Geo, but then well, Geo is Geotechnic. I should probably specify. You see it used a lot on Warhead and Geotechnic.
Right.
But on other maps, it's not so consistently used. So I think that buffing it in that sense, just to work more towards that purpose, wouldn't throw off the balance of things too much. It would probably just like make it a bit more distinctive a role, because I do think that to an extent, the Tommy gun is kind of like a fourth Trinity weapon in a sense,
Yeah.
or like it can kind of be one in specific situations, which I just think is more interesting. So.
It's kind of like a lightning gun, but with sort of like a cone. Kind of.
Yeah, almost. So I guess my main suggestions with it would be tighten the spread so that it's more consistent, because it's annoying when bullets don't land. It doesn't have to be like no spread at all, but if it was like halved, I think that would be quite good.
Yeah, that would be great.
Do you guys think that's generally just quite a good idea?
Yeah, although I think to be fair, like if we're gonna go with the hitboxes, I think that problem may or may not solve itself, or at least the tighter spread will
Right.
feel more generous, or at least the spread will feel more generous.
Yeah, I was gonna say if hitboxes are gonna if they do end up being a lot more consistent, if they do work on that, then I don't know if like the bounces to Tommy would even really matter. Because
There's-
it already has a decent, like, it doesn't really have that big of a spread, to be honest, to begin with.
Well, it obviously like it amplifies over distance.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So if you get far away enough, it does kind of get quite wide, and it just makes it frustrating when you're using it for basically what it is used for. I think it's
Right. As like a finisher tool.
yeah. So I think that it probably still is worth tightening the spread just to say that it's
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'd say tightening
consistent.
spread would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
It would just it'd make
because like otherwise you're going to be like tap firing it from like a really
Yeah.
long way away.
exactly. You don't want to do that. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Are
not
we
fun.
okay? Are we all in agreement on that? I still
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Tighter spread makes a little more sense. Just slightly tighter, more spread.
Okay,
I'd
and
say I'd say enough to where it's like about the same spread as, well, if not a little bit better than pistol, because it's an automatic. It's a Tommy.
yeah. And the other thing I was gonna say is that I think it would be worth fucking with the damage so that the minimum damage it can do when you're really far away, because I think at the moment it's like 6. I think just buff that up to like 8, 9, 10, something like that, and then have the maximum damage it can do at close range, like just nerf that down to like 12, 13, because
Oh, I don't know if the Tommy would be, think of it as in a weapon sense. It wouldn't make that much sense for it to do less damage up close than it would far away.
no, I just mean the maximum damage. Just bring that down to from because it's 18 at the moment. I don't know if you know that. And I mean, it never happens. But like, if you have your face pressed against someone when you fire it, it is technically a higher DPS than the lightning gun,
Really?
which is like absurd to me. So
Okay.
I think just making that range of damages that it can do just smaller, so that like the minimum is like 8, 9, 10, and the maximum is
Right.
like 12, 13, 14.
Well, then what would you do with the assault rifle? Then I feel like the assault rifle is a good long range.
I think
finisher.
to be honest, I think the assault rifle does not need to be in any competitive game mode.
I think the assault rifle is totally fine. It's probably one of my best weapons. It's super
It's-
good.
Yeah, I actually like it too.
I guess the main thing for me is that it feels like when you have weapons that are clones of each other, they become kind of redundant. So I think for me, and I think that goes for a lot of other dual mappers, we've kind of we have like the kind of base, like quote unquote Quake weapons, and then like the super shotgun and the Tommy gun, and that's kind of what we use in dual. So just because
Right.
it kind of makes the weapons that you can get a bit more consistent, and it makes it so that like every pickup is like you don't have basically clones of other pickups, because it's a bit weird to balance around.
I mean, are you saying like the AR is pretty much similar just to the Tommy gun?
I think the AR is similar to the Tommy gun, but like slightly worse. is what I'm
It's
saying.
slightly better because I mean, three burst fire is already fucked and busted enough as is. Like it does so much like damage long range that like if someone's super low, I don't use Tommy if they're too far. I just pull out assault rifle and then I can finish them off from like across the map pretty easily.
I feel
If I finish out the triple shot.
I feel like for
Like-
me, I do a lot more damage trying to finish people off with the Tommy gun than with the assault rifle.
Right, and people have their, I guess, their preference. Like you can do the same thing with with Tommy, right? And I think that it should stay that way. However, I do feel that the assault rifle does serve at least a little bit of a niche that I do feel that some players would enjoy to use. I don't feel that completely just negating a weapon that people use in DM and then coming to duel and be like, why can't I not use the AR? Oh, because the Tommy does exactly what it does, but it's just different. And it's like. They could view it like that way, but some people just probably just want to use the AR because I mean it is a little bit more consistent long range. Like it's not very good close range. It's a little bit more hard to use close range. That's what you use Tommy for. But AR feels
I don't think so. I think
good finisher.
I think Tommy is redundant at close range. I think there are weapons that do what Tommy does at close
Right.
range so much better, so you're just never going to
Right.
use it. So in
Right,
that
no.
sense, I think they are kind of just clones of each other. And I mean, we can go into this later. I can kind of
Right. Yeah, we can talk about that extensively later.
But I guess my main thing is I just want to focus on the things that are conventional within competitive Open Fortress now, I guess. And then
I
as
guess.
time goes along, we can address
I just wouldn't.
other
I wouldn't
things.
get rid of a weapon for it.
I know I know you like it, and that's fair enough.
Right.
I just think
I get that, but for the yeah, I understand.
I don't mean to shoot down
Don't,
what you're saying.
yeah, no,
but-
don't. Yeah, I'm not. Don't make it. Not trying to sound like it's like, oh well, I like it. Don't. Yeah, no, totally. If you don't want to use it, that's fine. If it feels more competitively viable for the game overall, that's totally fine. I can get over it. I don't even. That's fine. I know how to use every weapon. It's not like I can go without one, obviously. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess just that Open Fortress, I think, has too many weapons as it is, but it's fine in deathmatch because it's deathmatch. So
Well, it's deathmatch, obviously. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. That's,
What was I gonna say? Yeah, the damage on the Tommy gun. Make that so that it's a bit less of a range between between minimum and maximum damage fall off. So I think having it be 8 minimum, 12 maximum would be fine. I don't know what you guys think of that. I think just 6 damage at minimum is too low.
You said
Right,
that
but-
like the max was like 18 or something ridiculous like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Only-
that's fine.
just to clarify, the only thing I worry about is if we're balancing weapons, would this also not just affect DM?
I mean, the Tommy gun balance, like, it's gonna be doing how much damage it would do in DM anyway.
Right, but what
It's
about
just-
lightning? Because I know lightning has a bit of a faster take.
Yeah, I mean, lightning gun, that's a bit more worth discussing, but
Yes. Okay.
we
yeah.
can we
We'll-
can
we'll
we
get
can
to
get
that.
to that
We'll get
when we
to
get
that.
to that.
Yeah, of course.
So
We'll get to it.
so I'll say, in competitive Open Fortress, the Tommy gun has filled the niche of a medium to long ranged finisher weapon. And then I'll say, in maps without a railgun, like a Geotechnic, it also serves a similar function to the railgun. And I'll say like long ranged damage that opens fights and helps chip away at health and armor in downtime. So yeah, so I'll say long range finisher weapon. The Tommy gun has a lack of consistency in some areas that makes it at times slightly frustrating to use. If you feel some minor changes would make it work quite a lot nicer and more consistent. Okay, so what are we thinking then of reducing the spread? Do you guys care? Do you think it should happen? I don't want to put it on, and it's something that only I want.
I think it's something to experiment with, but
Yeah.
just sort of ease into it, I guess.
Yeah. Experiment with it and see if it if it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the damage fall off. Are we in agreement that it's a bit fucked?
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
Blamo, you've been a bit quiet.
Oh, I just don't have that much to disagree with
Okay.
right now.
Okay, cool. So I'll put that first because that's kind of a bit more cut and dry. That we would like to have that done.
Although, like, I feel like you said something about damage falloff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that like, wait, are you insinuating that damage falloff should be disabled, or should be disabled across the board?
I mean,
or
in my opinion, it should be, but I know that's like a weird change for a TF2 source mod, and it
Yeah,
does not
exactly.
matter that much. So I'm fine with it staying.
Nah, just tweaking it a bit for the Tommy would be nice.
Yeah, for the Tommy specifically, I think it needs to happen because that's something that's
Tommy
a bit more
is
integral to
yeah.
the balance of competitive Open Fortress.
Yeah.
So,
Tommy's very, very good.
all right then, we're all in agreement over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick. So currently at no damage fall off. Currently no damage fall off. The Tommy gun does damage per shot. Higher damage per second than the lightning gun. And at maximum damage fall off does 6 damage per shot. Damage, let's say, I'll say the damage the Tommy gun does at no fall off should be reduced, ideally down to 12. What's the upper limit? What do we think? Like 15? I think maybe even 15 is a bit much.
Yeah, 15 is.
Yeah, no, 15's a little too high.
Should I just say 12 then? Or
Sure,
should I give
that's
a
fine.
range?
Yeah, about 12.
Okay.
12 would be nice.
12.
A 12 or 10, I'm thinking.
I think 10 is a bit low, personally. But I guess there's that leniency there if they do decide to go with 10. That should be fine. Reduced. Or the damage it does at max fall off should be increased. And 8 damage per shot. And I'll say additionally, though it's a lesser issue, some inconsistency comes from the Tommy guns spread. Yeah, from at longer ranges, the niche that it occupies. Ideally, we believe it would be worth experimenting with tightening the spread of the Tommy gun to the point that it is negligible at the ranges where it is useful and realistically usable in actual combat. All good?
Yeah, have you
Yeah.
saved recently?
Oh,
Okay.
I definitely should. God, imagine I fucking lost that.
Right as you push the button, it crashes.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be scary.
How did you crash Notepad?
Life finds a way.
Yeah,
I suppose it is Windows.
Life finds a way to crash Notepad.
this would make the Tommy gun more consistent and more balanced for the range that it is good for while not being in rare cases better than the lightning gun. Alright, we're all good with that?
Right.
Okay, lightning gun. So the default tick rate for damage for the lightning gun is 0.05 seconds, I believe. It's
Okay.
something like that. And in the most recent version of the competitive config, I decreased it very slightly to 0.04. It's like barely noticeable, but it's just that much that it makes the Tommy gun the way it is now not stronger than it. The main goal of that change was more so to weaken the Tommy gun than to make the LG stronger. But I do think that personally, I would appreciate just a very slight damage increase like that. I know it's a minor thing, but personally for me, that's quite nice, and I think probably most casual players wouldn't even notice it. But I don't know if this is an unpopular thought or if you guys would agree with me on that.
I
Yeah.
mean, with that sort of a small change, I probably wouldn't mind. I guess I'm just overly like, what is it? The word I'm thinking of.
Just kind of like keeping it like as simple as possible, I guess.
Well, but not just that. I think, paranoid that all of the Nerf lightning gun memes will
right.
be resurrected
Well,
from the dead.
Those people were wrong
They'll
then,
come back.
and they are wrong now. So
They were pretty wrong.
no, I know what you mean. But I think a very slight increase like that would be fine. Just to kind of make it a bit more distinct from the Tommy gun and just to make it slightly better as it is. Because, I mean, people who play, I mean, fucking average Open Fortress player would be horrified at the lightning gun and, like, CPMA. So, obviously there is
lightning gun should be
distinction there.
lightning gun should reward you for really good tracking.
Yeah.
Like, Tommy kind of forgives you for not good tracking. Kind of, but you still have to have really good tracking.
Yeah, the whole
to use
point
it
of
properly.
LG is that you are supposed to
LG
be good
is
at
you're
tracking.
supposed to track. You're supposed to be good at tracking. If you're not good at tracking, it doesn't really do much of anything.
I don't know. Do you guys think it's worth keeping in there? Do you think?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I feel that making the lightning gun just a little bit better would be nice because people who fucking say it's broken are really dumb. Really dumb people.
The
I'm sorry.
CPMA lightning gun for reference doesn't just hit at an insanely long range.
Well,
Oh,
this,
for-
Yeah, at least it's not like that.
what were you
Be,
gonna say?
be
Mark?
thankful for the range. Be thankful for the range that the fighting lightning gun has now.
I think one issue was though, maybe issue isn't the right word, but I remember asking this one time a while back that the lightning guns, I think damage numbers were modeled after Quake Live, I believe,
Yeah.
while Merc's walking speed was closer to that of Quake 1, which is slower.
Right. Yeah, and obviously we play with faster movement now, don't we? Or competitively we do.
Yeah.
So that's a fair point.
We do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like the LG's damage in Quake Live. Personally, for me, in Quake Live, I think it could be buffed from 6 to 7, and that would be quite nice.
I've been on a few forums and I've seen that, yeah.
So it's definitely an opinion that a lot of people who play competitively have, but there's still, like, the lightning gun is still useful in Quake Live. It's just not as good as it is in other Quakes. So, all right then. Should we get that down about the lightning gun? It's less important, but I still think it's a change that is worth being made, just to kind of make it a bit more distinct.
That's fine.
It'll definitely get their eyes opened.
I do also think that just the design of a lightning gun in general is like anti-casual play.
Anti-casual,
as
but
weird as it is
the
to
whole
say.
point of this is supposed to be more competitively viable.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do think that mostly casual players wouldn't care with a buff. As
No, they
much as
wouldn't.
that.
No, they really
it's
wouldn't. They're
quite
not
a-
gonna fucking notice it.
It's quite a just like technical thing to make it like more.
If anything,
distinct
it'll
from
make them want to
Tommy.
use it, and hey, that might help their tracking. I don't know. Lightning actually helps you with tracking, if you know, because
Yeah.
you need to be able to fucking track really good to use it at its
Yeah.
like maximum potential.
It's a very minor suggestion. But currently, in some situations, the LG is weaker than weapons like the Tommy gun and assault rifle. Actually, all I'll move this. It's a very minor suggestion, but it would be nice if the damage, or not the damage, if the, is it fire rate? Would that be the right way to describe it? I don't know.
Fire rate might be the most convenient.
Yeah, fire rate or tick.
Rate
Just fire rate.
of the LG was buffed from 0.056 between damage ticks to 0.046 between damage ticks. And then this would allow for the LG to be slightly stronger and have its power be more similar to other arena shooters with air strafing, while still not causing casual players to complain about it.
Being too broken.
About it
Being too OP.
being broken.
Please nerf.
Slightly stronger. And I'll say have a more distinct role. Have its power be, yeah.
More distinct role than the Tommy gun
Well,
for like mid to long range finisher.
Semi automatic weapons.
Weapons.
Alright. Cool.
Right.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to say about weapon balance? Are we good?
Just a quick point. I guess this might be an aside, but for the railgun, I was thinking if the trail itself would linger on for longer, since I know in Quick Live you can modify that, but you know, for here have it set in place.
Maybe that would be worth just having it as a railgun,
yeah.
just to add commands to adjust like the thickness of the railgun trail, the length of the trails, that kind of thing.
The amount of time it stays in the air, so you can like use it to track where people are.
And then just have it
You know.
have like an upper limit. I mean, most Quake players actually reduce the length that it's on the screen because they find it distracting. But
Oh, just track. Well, yeah, you can do that too.
yeah, I think
I'm a
just
TF
give it
player.
like
I was never a Quake player.
just give it like an upper limit that's maybe not that much more than it is now. And then I'll put that down as well then. Railgun. The railgun trail is missing some customizability that is present in other arena shooters. Particularly the thickness. I'll say the railgun trail that is created after it is shot. Particular. The thickness of it, its transparency, and the length that it exists before getting away. Oh, I'll say the length of time, actually, just to clarify.
Yeah, the time before it disappears. Before it.
Fading away, yeah. Disappearing. Commands to control all of these would be quite nice.
It is a small
As
suggestion.
long as there is an upper limit to each of these things to make it more consistent among different players and less useful as a stupid method to track other players.
Yeah.
This is a much smaller suggestion, but it still would be good to have.
Would be nice to
this
discuss.
Customization, since a lot of people prefer less distracting Railgun traces. I'll say trails, just to keep it consistent.
Tracers, yeah.
Okay. So, holy shit, this is a lot. Okay. So we have weapon balance. What about?
I've got one more thing for weapon balance.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go on.
Okay, so when you shoot a player who has a pistol out, you'll generally get dual wield pistols. How do we feel about that staying or not?
I think dual wield pistols are fine. I don't.
Yeah,
Alright.
they're fine for their niche use.
All right, fair enough.
It should be fine. Okay.
I never have any issue with fucking dualies.
So I guess I'll move on. I feel like at the moment, changes to sound are more important than changes to visuals because I feel like Open Fortress doesn't lean much on it when it could, and it would make the game a lot more fun and just more interesting. And also, it would kind of speed up the pace of duels because you'd be able to like track people and stuff. Is that? Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree?
I believe so. Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess for me it's most noticeable on Geo because that's like the slowest, most tactical map, and it's just nice to be able to know where other people are. So,
Like a mini map of some sorts.
not a mini map. I think because I think that's too broken. I just think that sound
Yeah.
is just a very nice way of having that because you can kind of track
Right.
based on the position of the sound.
No, I
Listen.
do feel. Yeah, sound should be a
So-
mainstay. Like
Oh.
I use sound a lot in a lot of my game. Like I pay attention to certain sounds or like movement where people are.
Yeah.
Like, sound should really be, I guess, explored a lot more with the dev teams. Like they really should.
Wait, for sound, did you put spawn quips on here yet, or?
No, he hasn't yet, but that's a good thing
I
to
haven't
bring
put
up.
anything there, but yeah, I'll have that. I'll have like disable marks saying voice lines automatically.
Voice lines on spawn.
Voice lines on spawn, or just like on spawn or on kill, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just to make it so that it's
A
that
little bit more
he's
fair.
not
to,
automatically giving himself away if he doesn't want to.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I guess my main suggestion. Actually, I'll write this down first. Disable voice lines on spawn, on kill, and on domination. A lot of the time, it's very easy to track other players when they automatically say voice lines for things that unhelpful. So this removes a lot of the ability to be sneaky that adds extra dimensions and mind games to arena shooter gameplay. And then I'll say when MP or I'll say there should be a command to remove these unnecessary voice lines and limit the mercs chatter to jump and walk sound, or to jump and hurt sounds.
I feel like this should be really exclusive to just duel.
I think, well, I mean, it's dual and TDM and stuff, so I think just it being its own command would be quite nice. So
Yeah, well, yeah, having a command would be nice to disable it, like off or on.
because a lot of people would just prefer to have that anyway. So
Yeah. A lot of people like the all mercenaries, funny little quips he says, and all that shit. So I wouldn't think that like getting rid of that completely from like DM would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
a good idea.
yeah, just like that customization.
But having it as a customization option would be very nice. That's definitely needed. That's something that should be in the game.
This would allow for them to be disabled for competitive modes And also in casual servers, players feel that they prefer not to have them. I'll say there should be a server side. I should probably, for all these commands, say whether they're server side or client side.
Yeah, you should say if they're commands, because
Client side.
that would make a little more sense to people reading it.
So I'll say server side, Siva, and then yeah. Yeah, okay, that's all fine. Spawning players to get spawn killed less often and just generally allow for players to concentrate more. Right, so there's that. My cat's in here, he's looking at me. What else are we saying? What other suggestions you guys have for sound? Anything?
No,
Aside
I
from
think
that.
I'm okay with everything. I haven't really had any disagreements.
I would say option to disable ambience. Trying to listen to where other players are is annoying when the sound of is blowing is or I'll just say is playing as well. A client side command to disable soundscapes would be would work very well and would undoubtedly be used by the entire competitive community. I know it's like a group of people, not really a community, but still, whatever.
Right, a group right now, but I mean, hopefully it would be a community whenever this fucking game finally gets out of its
Yeah.
fucking.
Oh, please.
Please, God, give us something.
I'm begging you.
Yeah.
I'm thirsty.
I'm
Okay.
tired. Just let the community have their game.
Yeah.
Have their games.
I mean, what about like an option to just make the soundscapes like super quiet or something?
Yeah, I
Or
guess.
is that just redundant, do you think?
I mean, you could probably if you make that like a personal like a setting, like you can turn down soundscapes. I mean,
just
maybe,
on the
but
side of it being either at default volume or silent.
Okay.
This would make it a lot easier to track players by sound. So,
I would say
Yeah.
when the soundscape is playing in the background. Instead of saying when the sound of wind is playing as well, I'd say just when the soundscape of the map is playing in the background. It can be a little distracting. Like in TF2, you're not really having to listen for people's like where they are half the time. So you can get away with soundscapes in those games. But like I'd say that definitely having it being a slider, you can kind of you can adjust personally. Like a client side slider would be nice.
Yeah.
Client side option. So
Okay. We're all good with that?
yeah,
Mhm.
that's smart.
Alright, sick.
Sorry for your bird. She's
No, that's fine.
doing things.
What was the other one I was thinking of? There was another thing I was thinking of. Oh, echo. Okay. Option to disable echoes. Is it possible to do that in the source engine? Do you know, Blamo?
I have no idea.
That's just another thing that I think is kind of annoying when you're trying to listen to people. So, I'll say because another thing that can be quite annoying I'm trying to listen out other players' positions, as it can often be difficult to determine or difficult to distinguish between different echoed sounds. It also is just quite annoying to hear. Echoes in for some players. Client side mod to disable echoes would do wonders to alleviate this issue. I'm aware that this may not be possible in the source engine, but if it was, it would definitely make some people grateful for it. Okay, I don't think I have to explain what that fixes. We're in agreement on that? Or, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Cool. Okay. So... do we have anything else that we want to go over? Not just sound, but just, like, anything else in general, because... I think this is quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
I have like a few ideas,
Uh-huh.
mainly like, well, very minor, but I remember bringing up like minimalistic particles for like explosions and flames
Yes.
and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's really
just
good.
for
Yeah.
to have
Oh,
a
that would be.
toggleable
Yes. Yes. Please.
Minimal
Because like you can do that in TF2 with like scripts and whatnot.
effects.
Yes, exactly.
So
But here you can just click a button.
right, click a button. OF should let you
And-
click a button to fucking enable disable that, so you don't have to install crap.
And if you want like centered projectiles, you can also just do a toggle.
Yeah, like a toggle.
Since like with TF2, you can kind of do that, except with like left or right view models.
Right, with left or right, and same thing with like CS too.
to see things, and
Yeah, I feel having a toggle for center view models would be really cool. That'd be really nice.
when you're firing. When you're firing weapons.
I am all for more
Much
customization of options in this game because this
appreciated.
game is extremely
Widely
customizable.
adopted already by competitive tier 2 players. And I'll just say this could come in the form of a client-side command, but any in which is done would be very helpful. Fuck, there was something I was gonna say and then I forgot. Oh, God, it was unrelated. But anyway. Okay, anything else?
Aside
Can't
from
think
that,
of anything.
yeah.
That's about that's all I can think of.
Fuck, there was something I was gonna... Oh, right, time account up option. Can't think.
Oh yeah, timer counting up. That has like an option for players.
In basically every arena shooter, players opt to have the timer count from 0 upwards to make it easier to time.
Item drops.
I'll say, yeah, item spawns.
Spawns.
item spawns. Making this a client-side command. Or menu option would be very, very nice. As it would make you get from between casual and competitive in terms of timing items just that much less wide. And then what else? Zero upwards.
So do you think there should be a hard frag limit
No,
in duel? Okay.
No.
No, I really don't think so. No.
that just
it's
well, not in like tournament anyway, because that
Okay.
just
No.
makes it so that it's like less
Yeah,
opportunities
no-
for players to come back. So
For
Should I?
yeah, no. Having it just be strictly a based on timer is fine enough. You don't need to have a hard
Because
limit.
what I was going to suggest was just have it like 20 or something like really high.
or
30
actually
even.
that's not as important. Remove the hard-coded spawn time for mega health in duel. There is no reason for this to be a thing in open fortress, and it makes making plays to get back in control of the map more difficult, since it's super easy to time and defend. Pick up that spawns in 60 seconds. In addition to this, most arena shooters mega health spawn at spawn after 35 seconds. Increasing the pace of the map and making constant rotation more important. This should just be completely removed, and mega health spawn time should just be what they are set to by the map creator in Hammer.
Yep.
Okay. Is that everything? I think that might be everything.
that might be it.
I think so.
Don't forget. What about the about like a HUD like display that shows you the timers on like mega health spawn,
yeah.
armor spawn, and whatnot.
Show major item spawns in spectator mode.
Spectator, or it could be like a HUD, like just on the player's HUD display, like in or something like.
I think that could be a thing as long as it's something that you can disable, because I do think it's kind of bullshit to have that on your HUD.
Yeah,
in
by
a
default.
So
In a tournament, yeah, like, I'm sure you can turn it off in tournament, obviously. Having it as a turn off bowl thing would be nice.
Show major item spawn times in spectator mode. This would make the game much easier to watch and understand. And since viewers wouldn't have to remember timing or pickups, while players still would not be able to see them. This could be done via a server-side command. one value. Not showing spawn times ever. One value showing it only to spectators, and one value showing it to both players and spectators. Yeah.
Yep, and that's about it, really. I can't remember anything else we all talked about before.
Oh, actually, server side. Not to disable. Power timers. You know how it has like the spawn timer, like when you pick something up, there's like the spawn timer that's like the capture the flag thing when you drop a flag. Like have an option to remove that from power ups, because like quad and stuff or crits and stuff still have that in TDM.
Right, and yeah, I was gonna say also maybe a way to disable certain power-ups on maps, like a command that will disable, like say if you want a map to just have its mega health and nothing else, like if the server just wants to have it, play out like that. I think they should be able to customize it the way that like they would want to. If they don't want people to play with the berserk or crits, they just want straight mega health, or maybe they want just straight crits. They can choose what power-ups they can have spawn in their server, like or on the in their server pretty much. Maps can have them set as they are, obviously.
Yeah.
But a server owner can disable those certain power ups if they want to make it just a little bit more like not as like chaotic. Maybe they want to kind of make it more, I guess, streamlined. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Something
or
like
even if they want to like disable a power up or something.
Yeah, like they want to fucking play with berserk or some shit like that.
Yeah. Okay. This is gonna be the last thing I write down. Sorry, Apollyon, I'm not gonna.
No, it's okay. Yeah, you don't have to.
Because
you don't have to.
It's almost 12.
Pretty long. Yeah, it's late. Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm tired.
It's just something to talk about.
Oops.
Later.
What time is?
Yeah, I might release my map now. I'm not sure.
Is it finished?
Oh, well, for an Air 1, yeah.
For now, well, yeah.
For an Air 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Timer.
I'll probably do that before I go to bed.
Display when a CTF flag is dropped. Have server side command capable of disabling this timer for power-ups like crits and shield, since having them there makes timing items less necessary. Well, makes timing power-ups less necessary, I guess. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm gonna end the recording.
Alright.
Unless you guys have anything else to say right at the end. Speak now for apologies.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for considering some of these things, whoever may be watching.
Alright. I will be stopping the recording then.